So Knowing Better is a massive Zionist. I should cover that. He deleted his tweets, though. For those of you who don't know, the YouTuber Knowing Better, who was a proud Iraq War veteran, which is already disgusting enough. I don't actually have the links to the tweets that he posted, but he posted some tweets where he talked about like how anti-genocide protesters are all bad, like how it's wrong to be against the genocide in Gaza, you know, that sort of thing. And like when there's an ongoing genocide, as there is currently in Gaza, and you are curiously silent on said genocide, yet you do not have like any qualms just like posting tweets about how the people who are against the genocide are crazy, it's pretty clear then what side of the genocide, pro-genocide or anti-genocide camp you are on. You're clearly on the pro-genocide camp, because rather than putting your energy into opposing the genocide, you're somehow choosing to instead scold the people who are against it for being against it in the wrong way. And what possible motivation could someone have to do that, while also not saying anything about the actual fucking 30,000 people who have been murdered in 6 months? It's pretty clear whose side you're on. It's pretty clear what your motivation in attacking and trying to delegitimize those protesters is. So Knowing Better posted this tweet. I believe he's deleted it since, but he says, "I've been saying this for a while. The far left is doing irreparable harm to the progressive movement by permanently associating the people who want universal healthcare with people who support terrorists and literal pirates." Now, I assume by literal pirates, he means like the Houthis, who are still undertaking a blockade of the Red Sea in an effort to cause a material cost to Israel, which is currently carrying out a genocide, and Israel's allies, who are aiding and abetting said genocide, with the aim of pressuring those countries into stopping their support for said genocide. And the way that he frames that is just literal pirates. There's like no difference between that and trying to frame like blockades against Nazi Germany as being pure piracy. It's disgusting. Like when there's something going on right now with just a blatant genocide going on, 30,000 fucking people killed, 15,000 children massacred, and you have nothing to say about that, yet you have some insults for the people, like the poor and downtrodden people of Yemen, who are doing what little they are able to do after having themselves just faced unimaginable aggression from the US, Israel, and its allies for years and years on end, and they're currently still facing that aggression, killing around 500,000 of their people, doing whatever they can to try and help the people of Palestine who are currently facing a genocide at the hands of Israel, to look at those people doing what little they can to help and say, these people are just simple pirates. I can't imagine them having any sort of pure motivations here. They're just pirates. Surely what they want is the cargo on those ships. That's all there is to it. And they're just lying about them actually caring about Palestine. You know, for these people, like, it's like, come on, we got to keep the genocide going, because what if we stop doing the genocide? And then if it turns out the Houthis actually had impure motivations and we're just doing the blockade out of greed, and they keep doing it. We better keep doing the genocide then. And then, like, this was also, like, he was responding to an original post here regarding the Vietnam War protests, which he came out here as being against. Protests against the Vietnam War. The Vietnam War, completely and totally unnecessary US intervention in Vietnam, which resulted in the death of more than 1 million people, just to prevent them from being able to, originally the reason behind the US supporting the South Vietnamese puppet state, and which eventually resulted in the horrible Vietnam War, was essentially because polling showed that Ho Chi Minh would win free and fair elections, and they wanted to stop that from happening. And he says, "So the people telling me the Vietnam protests were correct. There's a reason the Democrats kept losing in the 80s. Clinton had to shake off the heap to be able to get elected, which he did by being tough on crime." So let me get this straight. The Vietnam protests were wrong because Americans saw them as being wrong. Like, not because opposing this fucking brutal, disgusting invasion and destruction of a foreign country just to prevent it from choosing its own destiny. You know, it was obviously morally correct to be opposed to that, to protest against it. But to him, that doesn't matter. All that matters are the, like, political consequences for the Democratic Party in the USA back home. So I guess the correct thing to do was to support the war because, you know, I guess Americans love militarism. They love what the military does no matter what. And apparently Clinton was tough on crime thanks to those dastardly bastards who opposed the Vietnam War, which killed 1 million people. And this did irreparable harm to the left. What left, man? What the fuck? But aside from that, the reason why he's bringing this up is to draw a comparison between the protests right now. Basically, what he's saying here in no uncertain terms is that you shouldn't be against the genocide in Gaza Because being against genocide in Gaza might have political consequences back home. Like it might cause Joe Biden to lock up more black people like Clinton did, I guess. Ergo, you shouldn't be against it. You should be supportive of it as he is. And I mean, the whole premise here is ridiculous anyway. As fucking if the Vietnam War protest movement was at all linked to anything that Bill Clinton fucking did. Bill Clinton's just a right-wing piece of shit. It's that simple. You don't force into fucking having your first lady go on fucking TV and call black kids super predators by hippie protesters in the 60s and 70s who were rightfully against the war. Give me a break, dude. That's not a thing. This isn't the first time that Knowing Better's done this. I recently made a video on my main channel about his sort of apologetics for Zionism and his false anti-Semitism allegations against people who are against the Israeli genocide in Gaza. There was another thing that he posted as well. Hold on, let me find it. Basically saying similar stuff, where he says that people who are against the genocide in Gaza, this is another post about how bad and horrible the protesters are. These people like Knowing Better and this other guy here, Noah Smith, who's just a fucking loser of a blog, not really important, don't even look him up. The way that they operate is that they're too squeamish to admit that they actually just straight up accept and enthusiastically support what Israel is doing in Gaza. They're too fucking pussy to do it. So the way that they express their support of it is to be these just fucking cowardly bitches and attack anyone who's against it and like pretend to be concerned with their methods. And now Knowing Better says, for years, Twitter told me that there's a Nazi rally and you don't kick them out, you're at a Nazi rally. Now I'm being told that there's a few bad apples that don't represent the wider group. So for him, if you're against the Israeli genocide in Gaza, you're a Nazi. You're opposing the wholesale slaughter of 15,000 children, 30,000 people, and way more than that, really. Like the death toll, I'm just going off the official numbers, which are incredibly rigorous and like have ID card number, full name, etc. But like, according to him, if you're against the massacre of Palestinians in Gaza, you're a Nazi. It's that simple. And that's a Nazi thing. So I just wanted to cover this guy really quick because there can be no doubt about it anymore. The YouTuber Knowing Better is a disgusting Zionist who supports the Israeli genocide in Palestine. And this is not at all surprising given the fact that he is someone who personally went and invaded Iraq, put his own boots on the ground in Iraq, undoubtedly was involved in the American war crimes there, which were massive and systemic, and helped to destroy that country, helped to kill 1 million Iraqis, helped to destabilize the region which caused the deaths of around 5 million people in total. And he's proud of that. He's bragged about it. It's like, for him, it's like a part of his origin story, just going and massacring brown people in the third world. So, who could be surprised that someone like this, like 15 years down the line, is an enthusiastic Zionist genocide supporter? No one. From committing genocide in Iraq for America to supporting genocide in Gaza for America and for Israel. It's the most predictable trajectory that anyone could ever imagine.